starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Peace and blessings, my family. What's going on? Happy holidays. We back again for another brainstormer session. You already know if you've been a part of the community, you already know what we like to do. We like to drop gems. We like to spread knowledge and connect powerful people together. So this is what it's all about. If you're new here, welcome. It's always a pleasure to introduce people into our community. And drop gems, man. We want to make sure that we give you guys the best value possible. We've been dropping a lot of jewels this year. It is the end of the year. I feel so blessed, man. Just to make it to the end of the year. With all the craziness going on out here, but we made it. We got to continue on, climbing. I'm already in 2026, man. I tell you, it's so much coming up. Speaking of that, make sure you guys check out our website, masteringOurBusiness.com. We got a lot of different updates on there. And if you're new, definitely check out our website so you can see, what our community is about, what type of key features we have, what type of benefits, and how, especially if you have a business, how we can actually benefit your business, your company, your organization, or any projects that you have coming up. It's always great to bring people in and and get them access to essential skills. We love helping you guys launch and scale your business, and of course connect with a network. That's what it's all about. Your network is your net worth. So make sure you guys check out our website, check out all of our different services that we actually have to offer to different business owners, whether you in the growth and funding area, whether you need business funding, business plans, strategies, or if you just need to scale your business with AI automation. This is the new thing today, especially AI. If you're a business owner, if you haven't incorporated AI in your business yet, you better hurry up. You better hurry up. It's here to stay. We have a lot of great tools out there that are definitely make your life easier. Or if you just need help marketing, getting your business out there, you need help advertising. You need help managing your social media. I know a lot of people, especially business owners, they don't have a lot of time to, keep up with all these different platforms. We have a great social media team. So, if you need help with that, or if you just need help branding, branding your logos, putting them on custom merchandise or anything like that, definitely contact us. We also have some great creative production team as well, as far as our video audio production team, our photography team, and our website graphic design team. So yeah, we got a lot of great goodies for you guys. Definitely check out some of our modules that we've been going throughout the year, and some of them we'll actually be touching on our brainstorming sessions as well. So make sure you guys check out some of the recaps on Mob TV. If you missed some of our brainstorming sessions, if you want to go back and watch some of your favorite ones, some of your favorite guests, some of your favorite topics, definitely go back and check out some of the recaps, man. We've really been getting it in this year. We've been bringing on some valuable people. We got another special guest for you guys today, of course, and I can't wait to bring her on board. But meanwhile, make sure you guys also check out our resource center, where we have a lot of great valuable information. We have our ebooks on there. We have some credit builder companies that we've been partnered up with. And if you're looking for unconventional funding as well, we have some resources on there as well. Also, for those of you, I know we get a lot of feedback and a lot of support from people that may not have a business per se, or just want to support on a monthly basis. We do have our Friends of the Mob program, so make sure you guys check that out as well. We're actually going to be doing a lot more with our Friends of the Mob program this year. This year coming up. I'm already in 2026, y'all, so excuse me, but definitely check out our Friends of the Mob program. If you want to become a donor, definitely, hey, let's get you on board. Again, we got a lot of great information that we've been putting out. First and foremost, I just want to shout out all of our members mentors and associates. We've been doing a lot of great things. You guys have been crushing it, man. We've been, it's nothing like seeing actual results and seeing people actually accomplish the things that they want to accomplish. We all know how hard it is becoming being an entrepreneur, owning your own business, running your own company, and putting together your own projects. Just being independent is super super hard, and you need a community. So that's what we're here for. To bring together community and make sure that we have the resources that we need in our economy. I know that sound cliche, but we need this. We all all of us need resources, and sometimes you just need a accountability partner. So sometimes it don't have anything to do with. Sometimes you might not be at the point where you need videography or a website or anything like that. Sometimes you just need some motivation to make it to the next day, and I think that's all of us. So it's super important for us to do that, and make sure that we are that leader in our community that's keeping each other pushing forward. Man, there's so much negativity out in the world. We got to sprinkle a little positivity somewhere in there, and we also have a lot of fun. So also check out some of our events and activities that we have coming up. We're actually going to be posting a lot more activities on our website for the upcoming year. We're just getting some dates locked in. I can't wait, man. 2026 sounds exciting. We already made it, man. We made it through 25. If you live with us, man, blow up the chat, post your websites, post your social medias, and post what type of business you do. And if you can, let us know what problem your company is solving in the community. Let's do that. Let's do that. We are live on YouTube and Instagram right now. So shout out to all of my people online. And definitely, you already know you can definitely check out this recap. If you can't catch it live, you can check out the recap on Mob TV. And that's mastermybusiness.com/Mob TV. So what's going on, people? What's going on, people who live with us, man? Let me see some of them websites if you live with us. I definitely want to check some of you guys out. We will be starting something new in the new year. We will be doing business audits. So we will be going on and checking out some of you guys' websites, and giving you guys some pointers on how you can make it better. What some of the things that you can do to, even if your website is already, put together, what some of the things that you could do to make it better. And yeah, man, we just want to make sure you guys are equipped, and make sure you guys have a great website, and make sure you guys are getting the traffic that you need for your business. So we will be starting that very soon. We will be going live. So if you want to get ahead of the game, definitely you can also DM us your website so we can check it out, and we'll put it on the list for the audit as well. So I'm excited about that, man. We definitely gonna have a lot of fun. I know it's a lot of you guys that need a lot of revamping on your website, and that's what we're here for. So we definitely gonna do that. It's definitely gonna be fun. So definitely tune in for that. I don't want to hold you guys up too much longer. As I said before, we got another special guest for you guys. I want to bring on board Tracy. What's going on, Tracy? Go ahead and unmute yourself, Queen.
Hi. I I just want to say thank you, and I wholeheartedly appreciate you bringing me on. I got a chance to take a look at your website, and I don't know if I was impressed or just happy. Um, the same day that I checked out your website, I was looking at a documentary. I'm a documentary person, right?
Me too.
And
Me too.
they were talking about things like the Tulsa massacre and all that. They were talking about where we were in the past and where we are now. And my first thought is, I don't think things have changed a lot for us because there are still people that are trying to keep us down. And it was a couple of things that they said that just kind of like tugged at my heart. They said Black excellence, Black achievement, Black wealth, and we can't be suppressed because we rise from the ashes. And I thought about that and I said, that is so true. You can't keep us down. Um, my story is a little bit different. Some people in my family still think I'm crazy, or some of my friends may think I'm crazy. At the beginning of the year, I started as a federal employee at a very reputable, well known federal organization throughout the world. We all know that this year started off different, or at least it did after January the 20th. So I was one of those people that were affected by the changes. And then I decided I had to do something. I could stay, I can continue, earning this great salary, or I could step out on faith and do what I know God want me to do. And that's what I chose to do. And I'm happy. Um, I'm excited about my business. I'm excited about, community development. I'm excited about all those great things. But the one thing I did when I started my business, I wasn't worried about clients. I was worried about what I could do in the community. I said, because God said we got to give back. So, and I told my office manager, I said, I need you to get me some information for homeless shelters, women's shelters. I have to give back. I need these nonprofit organizations that I can tap into, whether it's a job fair or whatever, because I always find myself talking to people. I've given homeless people my card, like, let me figure out how I can help you. And the other day, we were coming from, I think, Walmart, and he was driving. The mister was driving, and I said, I got another idea. We need to start services for veterans that are homeless. We have to do direct services. And he was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, we got to put together the things that they need, because I also, in my past, worked with an organization that dealt with the military. And that's when I learned that the country does nothing for them, even though they give their lives. So I'm always thinking of how I can help. That's just me. I want to do more, or I wish that I had the resources to do X, Y, and Z, because I feel like the people that should be doing it, and remember, I was a Fed, so I get to know different things. The people that should be doing things, they're not. And it's very disheartening to me, because we pay a lot of taxes. I want to know where my money going, but I see where it's not going. So that's just a little bit about me. And I decided to start Dalton Office Management LLC. We are a certified woman-owned small business, as well as an economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business. Um, and we provide administrative and business support services. So that means it's a long category. We can do anything from the administrative part, the back office part, to we also do grant writing. That's a whole process. The grant writing, everything with that is a process. We also do team building. We do corporate events. We do a lot of different things. And I have a program for entrepreneurs as well. If you feel like you have an idea, I'm the one that's going to drag it out of you. We got to get it started, because there's, I love my people. I'm not, I love my people, but they need to know there's so much more you can do besides punching somebody else's clock. If you can make that person wealthy, you can do the same for yourself. And I'm adamant about sofa sitters. That's what I call them. You punch somebody else's clock, and then you go home and you sit on a sofa, and then you go to bed. No, no, no. Because the real entrepreneurs, we don't sleep. We take naps between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. Those are our facts. So, again, thank you for having me here. Thank you for inviting me to this phenomenal network. Um, I only see great things coming from this network, and I'm so appreciative, because there's not a lot of connections for us to get into the room, right? So I'm so appreciative. And, I look forward to being a part of this community and helping where I can. Um, a lot of people do need help with grants. There is a difference between a federal grant and a public grant. I've been on both sides of the table, especially the federal part. So, I want to be a resource, and make connections and see what I could do, where I can do it, and we can go from there. But I do appreciate you inviting me here. So thank you for that. And like you, I'm already in 2026.
We are already there.
Yeah, I'm already there. And 2025 has been a rough year for a lot of people. 2026 is our year. Look, this is our year. Like we're already in 2026. So
Most definitely.
yeah.
And I appreciate you, Queen, for just all of the things that you've been doing, for opening up your eyes. First of all, I think a lot of people, especially when they get to the point where they stable. You might be, you get a good salary, you get a good job, and then they put their blinders on to what's going on out here. And I think it's it was one of the things that I had to snatch my blinders off as well, because it is a lot of things going on. I do know a lot of veterans in business, and a lot of veterans that really don't have a lot of resources out here, and just us, period. Our culture, we don't, we wasn't born with the resources, so we have to kind of scrape it and get it out the mud. But entrepreneurship is not all bad. What is some of the things that really excites you the most about running your company and being an entrepreneur?
What excites me the most is I get to make decisions for my company that I couldn't make for someone else's company. A lot of times when we work for someone else, we have these ideas, and I'm sure we've all been in those positions where it's a great idea and you share it, and then they just shut it down without asking any questions. Or, first of all, I'm a person, if I come to you with a problem, I have about 5 solutions, and I've already researched those and I've already done all my homework. The best thing for me about owning, I'm going to tell you this, and it's funny. The best part about owning your own company is on Sundays, I don't have that anxiety of uh, tomorrow's Monday. I got to log in because as a Fed, I did work from home the past 5 years. So it's like, I got to log in. So by Sunday afternoon, it's like, I'm not ready for it yet. I need one more day. But as a business owner, I'm not like that. That anxiety of the meetings and everything that I had to do for the federal government, I don't have those. I get to go at my own pace. However, my pace is about 14 to 16 hours a day. Sometimes I don't get to eat dinner until 1:30 a.m., but I'm happy and I don't feel like I'm compressed. Um, I do a lot of meetings in a day, and a lot of people want to network. And I'm also, right now, I'm in Germantown, Maryland. So I'm expanding my business. My company can do clients, we can have clients nationwide, preferably the US. I don't want to go outside the US for a lot of reasons. So I now have staff in Georgia. So my days are busy. You have to talk to people, you have to figure things out. At the end of the day, you're bringing in revenue and you're expanding and you have all these ideas. To me, that's the best part. And I don't feel stressed, right? When you start a new business, yes, we do experience growing pains, right? Because we weren't raised like some people where they start learning about money at 3 years old. So we have those growing pains. I'm very blunt, I'm very outspoken, and I like to tell people things that will help them. People see the outside of us owning our own business, but they don't get to see the struggle. They don't get to see when we on our knees praying. They don't get to see where you might have to make a decision between eating a cup of noodles to I'm going to have a steak. So there is different levels, and you have to be prepared. And I also like to tell people, when you're looking at a person like me coming from the federal government, of course I didn't have a small salary, right? You have to be prepared. You have to be. There will be days where you have clients, there will be days where you don't have clients. You have to be prepared for at least 6 months because there are quiet times. And then there are times where I'm super busy where I can't do my work because it's like, wow, I got 50 meetings today. So you have to be prepared for the unknown. People don't get to see that part. They get to see us on, I only do LinkedIn and I do TikTok. So they get to see the other parts. But then you have me that'll come and say, no, no, no. Sometimes you got to skip a bill. You got personal, you got business. But come January, I still got to pay business taxes, right? Whether there was a client or not. So there's different levels to it. And throughout it all, you still have to be happy. You still have to be humble. You still have to move along with grace. I've hit some bumps in the road, but I like to go around or over the obstacles. And I also keep God centered. Before my feet hit the floor, I'm already praying. I'm already praying because a lot of reasons why we are affected is because of the current climate. So you just have to be prepared. And when you have people working for you, you still have to be happy. You still have to do things. We're going to lunch today. No, go head home. I get to tell you to go home a half a day, um, because it's mine. I know you work a lot. You're in the office before I was in the office. Go home. It's okay. Take 2 days off. Go focus on your grandkids because these are you have to appreciate your people. If you respect and appreciate your people, they're going to go a long way for you. While you trying to fight battles, they fighting with you. They're beside you. And that's also important with entrepreneurship. You tap into each person quality. You don't just hire people to hire people. No, if she's great at human resources and her numbers are high, that's what you tap into. So as your own boss, as an entrepreneur, you get to make the decisions in your company that you couldn't touch working for somebody else.
It's
But you
nothing
get to
like
you get to do it with grace.
it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. And they say you gotta they say you gotta be a little delusional to be an entrepreneur. You know what? I agree because the odds are against you so much that you have to be a little crazy to step out and really just go for it, But
Right.
faith really plays a big factor in that. There's so many options, and I think that's so important. You know, where we come in, it's so important to really show all aspects of business. And, that's why we put together our modules because we want to break it down
Yes.
into all these different aspects. Because you're right, people only see it through Instagram and people only want to show the best parts of the successful parts. They don't never really want to get vulnerable, and it's something I'm big on. With our members, as far as the content that we produce and different things like that. You have to get vulnerable. You have to let
Yes.
people know who you are. What you're going through on a daily basis. And once people know, have a better idea on what you go through. Through a daily basis, they will respect the business. They will respect the process. I'm big on respecting and loving the process because it's hard, but you have to love that process. You have to love everything that comes with it, the good and the bad. And it's hard. We're human. I think that's where the accountability partners come in. Mentors is super important to have as well because those are the people that's going to keep you uplifted and keep you going forward. And it's super hard. So speaking on that, if you could instantly remove one major obstacle in your business, what would it be?
Hmm. Let me tell you about a major obstacle that I did remove. And I want to go back to one of the things you said a couple of minutes ago, and I actually wrote it down. Let's talk about mentors. I removed and canceled my mentor like a discovery card. My mentor did not look like us. So you know what that means. I'm trying to be professional but careful of what I say. I got my mentor through a very reputable organization that suggests that's how we get our mentors. My mentor was a millionaire. He owned a tech company and he sold it for billions of dollars. My first meeting with my mentor, see, because one thing about me and my background is also psychology, I pay attention to what you're not saying. That's the most important part. My first meeting with my mentor, I told my office manager, nah, he's not the guy for me. Okay. Because as you're getting to know each other, I did share a lot. One of the things that I did for the federal government is I did diversity boot camps, I did diversity trainings. Hold on to those two, right? So the first meeting with my mentor, I could feel it in my spirit that it wasn't going to be a long relationship. The second meeting with my mentor, I just want you to hold on to your seats. My mentor said to me, a woman of color, and I just turned 50 in August, so I've been around for a long time. My mentor said, diversity doesn't matter. oh, oh, Jesus. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He said that to me. Nobody cares about diversity. So I said in a very nice way, as long as I'm a black woman, diversity always matters. I also said to him, I've sat at the head of boardroom tables. My arms are covered in tattoos. And I always purposely do something. I take off my jacket, I take off my cardigan, I take off my sweater because of the facial expressions. I love to see people facial expressions, right? And as they're waiting for the person that's going to lead the meeting, they had no idea it was me. So while they're making judgments of the tatted, savvy diva, which was me, they now have to listen to me. And I also said, if you and I walked in that same room together, they would look at you much different than they look at me. It's very rude and disrespectful to say that diversity does not matter. I'm a black woman and you're a white man. Diversity in my life until I die and even after, because there's still going to be people that look like me, diversity will always matter. So what that told me was he was not the mentor for me. So when you say what's important, what could I get rid of? We have to, as people of color, we have to have the right people on our front row. It makes a difference because these are people that are supposedly professionals to lead and guide us. Now, everybody needs a mentor, but I did not need a person like that on my side because I felt like what I would have had to do was sell my soul, and I'm not doing that. So, mentorship, that's very important. And I know it may sound a little bit weird when you're talking to people before you decide to make them your mentor, ask some questions, interview them, have a discovery call because you definitely don't want the wrong person leading and guiding you, and it could possibly be a big mistake. So to answer your question, I already got rid of a challenge. That was a major challenge because then the advice that he was giving me for my company, it didn't sound right. It didn't sound right.
Ooh, you just killed them with that one, Queen. I wasn't expecting that one. You killed them with that. I think that's super, especially nowadays. I think it's super important. One that you interview, and I think I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, and back when I got my mentors, they found me. I was already putting in the work. I was already getting out there. I wasn't looking for a mentor, and to be honest, I really, even when they found me, I was still like, I don't need you. They had to really prove themselves to me, and I thank God for them. I thank God for the mentors that I do have. Shout out to Alonzo Palmer. Rest in peace. Naima. These are people that really got out there and put boots to ground. They wasn't billionaires, but they had a lot of experience, and they taught me things without even trying to. They wasn't even trying. Like Naima, to this day, she still don't think she's my mentor. She laughed when I mention her, but she don't even know that she taught me so much without even trying to teach me. Just having me around and me seeing how she moved with grace,
Right.
in a hectic game, and how she traveled the world, and how she never let the stress and the trauma show on her face. You would never know she was stressed out, and she's in a very stressful industry, which is the fashion industry.
Mm.
I valued that. I looked up to that. So I still, and she's still running 20 plus years strong. still, going back to school and learning and adding on to her skill set. Those are the people that I think, are the ones, and I think your mentor will find you. I
Right.
think, but I think you still have to be I think you still have to have discernment, because everybody is not good for you. I don't care how much money they made, they still might not understand who you are as a person. And I think
Exactly.
that's super important for, anybody, a partner, a mentor, a lover. I think that's
Yes.
anybody that's in your life. They must understand who you are, where you come from. And I don't think it's all about skin color either.
Right.
I'm a big devil's advocate when it comes to, black owned companies, and I think people are just great, and I think that's why the youth. I have so much faith in the youth now, because fast forward, they won't see any of that. They don't
Right.
see skin color. They don't see even gender, and I ain't too big on that, what I mean. But I respect it because of the things that they can accomplish, and we're seeing
Right.
them accomplish. I got young folks. We have members as young as 6 years old. Doing their thing, entrepreneurs out there. We have young folks that's in their teenage years that's millionaires. Off of things that we wouldn't qualify as a career. Like
Right.
social media influencers. We
Mhm.
have to stop telling people that that's not a career. How can we still tell these people that especially these kids, you
Right.
know, we have to push them, and motivate them. And even if you don't understand it, you have to motivate them. That's why I keep some young people around me, because they put me up on stuff.
Right. Right.
They like my cousin. He just sent me some new AI tools to check out, like, because I'm into AI,
Mhm.
so he's always sending me new tools to check out. I think it's super important for us to have people like that around us and not be stuck in the old ways.
Exactly.
And not have people around us that's stuck in the old ways too, because
Exactly.
business have, especially in this last 5 years, business have changed and evolved so much. And it's just the pandemic alone. I was an entrepreneur before the pandemic, but I watched the pandemic grow a whole new type of entrepreneur, and it's
Yes.
beautiful. And we have to get out of that old mindset of thinking. We have to get away from people that's shooting down our ideas. And I
Exactly.
even speak about this in schools. I go to schools, and I talk to the teachers, and I let them know, like, I know you guys want the kids to be like us and go to trade school and be
Mhm.
plumbers and stuff like that. But we cannot keep pushing the past on it. The future is in our face.
Mhm.
So it's super important, to really have discernment. And I think you are so strong. You are, because I think most people would have just looked at, oh, he's a billionaire, I'm gonna stick around, and they wouldn't have made that decision. But it's all about getting out of that matrix, unplugging yourself. It's
It's
not about the money.
it was to be completely honest, I think I was shocked because you look at it as we're in the 21st century, right? And you are a part of this company. Now, I'll tell you about the company offline because it is a company that is promoted for entrepreneurs and business owners. And I said they chose you as a mentor. So that means Tracy's going to have to write a letter to them to say, this is not working. You have to set up a different way to bring on mentors. Don't look at them because they may be billionaires, because they're not interested and they can't give people the wrong information. Now, I can tell a new entrepreneur a lot of stuff, and it's based off of experience because this is not my first business. Each business is a different business with its own different challenges. The most important thing is that no one understands the mind of an entrepreneur. Number one, we're a risk taker. I don't know if that's the Leo in me or the entrepreneur. It's dual, right? We're risk takers. That means we're willing to step out. Most of us are stepping out on faith because you're not going to take God from us. We before we were even born, that was a part of us regardless. So we step out on faith. Some of us do what we're instructed to do by God. That's how we live. But then when you got somebody, and I had a different little titles for him that I will not share right now, but I was like, so you still trying to keep your knee on our necks. No, 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 no. Um, and if you look at statistics, it's entrepreneurs and small businesses that really keep this world going. It's not the 1%. It's us. So for you, and I felt like it was very disrespectful, but what entrepreneurs or inspiring entrepreneurs need to know, you have to have a village. Your auntie, your mama, your papa, all of them are not going to understand. Stop wasting time explaining it to them. This is your dream, your vision. Step out on faith. Because while you listen to the haters and the naysayers, you're going to be a sofa sitter. I don't believe in sofa sitters. And like I tell people, I dance circles around 10 people on a daily basis. By the time you got out the bed, I done did 50 things. Stop it. Stop it. So you have to have the right village. It takes a village. You have to have the right support system. You don't need the negativity around you when you're trying to build, because for some people it's very scary. Even with their ideas, it's scary. You have to have the right people in place, and things work out. Even if you just have to call them or shoot a text or an email, hey, I'm struggling with this. Like me, I think some things are completely easy that people find challenging, like a business plan. I can do that in my sleep because it's easy. I'm also an author, so stop it. Sometimes you just need someone to help you pull those ideas out, and you just need to talk about it. Not with your cousin that's working at the Waffle Hut or Waffle House or whatever. You need the right support system, and there's plenty of us out here that can help. So I do commend you. I salute you. I do all those great things. This is a great platform. This is a great company that you have. And I appreciate you for doing it, because some people would be fearful to even do that. You just have to trust and believe in yourself. You don't need people to really believe in, just believe in self. And we live in a world of, you can take a class if you feel a little challenged. If you could take a small business class or something, or you can get in the right meeting. So you don't have to sit on it, because I'm not one of those people that's going to look back at 60 or 70 and say, I wish I could have, should have. That's not me. And if you tell me your idea, I'm a pusher. So if you tell me your idea, I'm gonna keep going, because maybe I also see something in you that you're not really seeing in yourself.
And
So
that's
that's why I
super
said
important.
it takes a village, and you have to be surrounded by like-minded people, the right people.
Every
So
time.
I'm
Every time.
glad you brought up mentorship, because that was a challenge. That was a major challenge. Everything else, to be completely honest, go at your pace. Don't let someone force you to hire people. If it's something you could do by yourself, do it by yourself as long as you can. There's also free help. It's called what? Interns. So there's things you could do to build your business. In your circle, there's got to be at least two people that are willing to help you a couple of hours or whatever, or hire somebody part time or one day a week. But you don't give up. You don't give up. You don't give in. You keep going. Because the moment you quit, you just lost a blessing, because you don't know what was next. And then if you pay attention to what God tells us, you just revert back to Jeremiah 29:11. You'll be fine. So I
I love
don't really I don't really look at things as a challenge. I look at things as lessons learned, best practices, because we learn from what we shouldn't do. Um, so you just have to pay attention and go at your pace. And before you start your business, you definitely want to do your research. Do your research. Who do you want to target? Who is your target market? Who is your biggest competitor? And the one question you ask yourself, what makes you better than them?
I love it. I love it. So I really I wanna read today's affirmation. We've been doing daily tips and affirmations in our community, and I want to read today's affirmation, because it's just, this is God coming full circle. Today's affirmation was, I am committed to daily learning. My knowledge base expands every time I face a new challenge. That was today's affirmation. I just posted probably an hour before I even got on the brainstorming session with you. So this is just, confirmation. And this is why our brainstorming sessions is so great, because they're unscripted, but
Mhm.
they touch is they touch on the same confirmations, and it don't even matter what industry. We have so many
Right.
different beautiful people, beautiful guests from different industries, all different types of walk of life, and it all reverts back to the same things. And I know people that been watching us, they probably think we send y'all a script or something beforehand.
No.
But
Because you
um,
know why he does not send a script, because last night I said, huh, what is he going to ask? So then I said, wait, this is not my first interview. D- this is, you ask questions, I respond. Sometimes I might have a little bit more information, because people that watch are from different levels and different stages of their life. Now, if we can get at least one, I would prefer at least five. But if we could get at least one to understand, and I say this with all certainty, now is your time. You have to just prepare. Whether you have a job, I have people that I know that work in 3 jobs, and they tell me every day they want to start their own business. Now, for of course, we in business to make money. Every once in a while, I'll do something. And what I did without this person knowing is I pulled together all the information that she needed to know about her business, where to go, where to start, everything. And I sent it to her, and that was a month ago. And I asked recently, where are you in this? Well, I'm still thinking. Okay. What I don't like, and I did put a post on TikTok yesterday, you can't waste my time. Because that could have been designated for somebody else that actually needed me at that moment. I don't need to keep hearing, well, I want to. Remember, tomorrow's not promised. We have today. Yesterday is already gone. We have today. And when I'm telling people 2026 is the year, I started my 2026 last Saturday. I dropped the New Year's ball and everything. Boom, thank you, Jesus. We here. Let's get busy, because 2026 is going to be the year of restoration, rebuilding. And as we know, all things begin anew, right? It's the time. Some suffered throughout 2025. 2025 was rough across the board. Now is the time. And I don't understand why people still sitting back like, well, one day, that day may never come. It starts with an idea. And then you talk to the right person, not your cousin Mookie, the right person. They will help you develop it. And that's why I started a stand store recently, and I developed these different entrepreneur packages. You have the discovery call, you have the call where we're going to talk no matter what, but if you want me to do your business plan, I have that. So I said, maybe this will help people come out of their shell. Don't just look at me and be like, oh, I want to do that. No, it takes work. It takes time. You have to delegate. You just work 2 jobs around the clock, uh, but you can do that for yourself, because we do it anyway for ourselves. So I just wish more people listen and pay attention to when we say things like, now is your time. Don't wait.
you know what? I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. Sometimes I love to be the devil's advocate, especially when it comes to these type of topics, especially when it comes to our people, because we have to dive deep into the truth and the reasons. First, most of us still stuck in this slave mentality. It's nothing to do with, your capabilities. It's all
Right,
mental, and they can't get out of that mentality where they have to work for somebody. They have to, because this is what been beat into most of us. Our own
right,
parents. When you have your own parents and your own family telling you you have to work, you have to go out and punch that clock. It's hard to reprogram yourself. You have to sow that seed when you was younger, and I thank God for my mother, even though she's a blue collar lady, now an entrepreneur. But when I first got into my journey, she didn't really understand it, because she grew up a blue collar worker, and she worked her
right.
butt off, and as a strong black woman. But I had to go out there, and you know what? She sowed that seed in me. Still, she made me get out there in seventh, eighth grade to sell bottled waters. I was the candy, the kid selling candy in school.
Hmm.
So we have to sow them seeds early on, because one thing I always like to say, you can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
And when people is not invested in their own dreams, is nothing no packages you can put together, no motivational speeches that can possibly get through to them. And that's why I'm very, some things like this, we love giving away free gems. But when it comes to these resources, they have to be invested in themselves.
Exactly.
And because it's not always about the money. Sometimes it be people that I really want to work with, and it's like I can't do it because they're not invested enough, and I know they're gonna waste my time. I've had my time wasted. It's been times where I had more passion in someone else's business than them,
Yes.
because I was more invested. They wasn't as invested because I gave them everything for free. So sometimes, I'm not with overtaxing these fake gurus. Oh, give me $10,000 and I'll turn you to. I'm not necessarily with that, but I think everybody have to invest in something, even
Exactly.
if it's small. Start off small. Let me see that you're invested first,
Right. Right.
because at the end of the day, can't nobody move you except for you. I can give you all the game. I just did this. Literally, I just did this, and I don't want to put them on blast because they're my family. I love them. But I gave them all. I went down. I gave them the whole checklist, because this is what we do with our members. We put together a checklist for them, everything that they possibly need to check off. And when I tell you, that was probably 2 months ago, and they haven't checked off one box. One box. We sat down, had a 3-hour meeting,
Oh.
haven't checked off one box. And that's because they're my family. I didn't make them pay the membership fee and all of that. That's my fault. I have to take that. I have to take that accountability. I have to say, hey, that is my fault. I crippled them. I crippled them. So now I have to go back and say, hey, before I do anything else, you have to invest in yourself. Holla at me when you invest in yourself. It's okay. We ain't beefing. I love you. I see you at the
Right.
family, whatever the family get together. I love you. I believe in you. But until you invest in yourself and believe in yourself, it's nothing that I can really do for you. Even though I got all the resources, we got all the resources in the world, it's nothing that I can do for you because you won't invest in yourself. And this is something that we have to understand, especially within our community. Within our community, we have to invest in our. We can't keep waiting for somebody else to give us our 40 acres of mule. We
Yeah.
can't. We can't. I mean, we've been waiting this long, and
How
we
long we been
still,
waiting? It's
we
been
still waiting.
how
We
many
still
years?
waiting.
Yeah, how many years
We,
we been waiting?
what, 400?
Yeah.
400? I mean, we're not that far removed from, and it's so much more. And I think, we still waiting on the president to save us. We still waiting on all these
Oh,
different things. And we haven't, in my lifetime, I haven't seen the president do anything for us yet. And I think the biggest thing, the best thing that this president has done, and I'm gonna be the devil's advocate again. I think the best thing that this president has done for us is wake us up. It's
facts.
wake us up.
I'm
It's
woke.
all a game.
Yeah.
It's all a game, and if you don't know how to play the game, you're gonna get played. It's all made up.
Yeah.
None of it's real. It's all made. We are literally this is the Matrix, and if
Yeah.
you don't unplug from that, and that's just me. I have a lot of different stances. I don't like to turn it political, but our life is political.
Yes.
Especially in our culture, everything that we go through is political, and we must understand that we got to do it for ourselves, man. Shout out to Noble Shanghai Farms. That's one of the nonprofits that I'm actually a director of, and we're helping people learn how to live sustainable, build their own farms, live off the land, getting our kids into STEM. I have a STEM program where I call it STEAM because we added arts in it as well. So we're talking about science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And I'm putting together this program for us where it could be still entertaining, because we have these kids in these facilities that's not learning anything because they're learning off an 80-year-old curriculum. and they're learning off a curriculum that was created by the Rockefellers to create more workers, not to create innovators. So we have to have our own programs. We can't keep
Exactly.
sending our kids to these institutions just because we need a babysitter now. We can't keep doing it and then wondering why they're not learning, wondering why they can't sit down for 8 hours a day. We're not meant to. That's not how we learn. That's not how I learn. Even me as an
Right.
adult, I'm hands on. We have to get hands on. We have to
Hmm.
get back into the community. We have to bring back that trust.
Exactly.
It's easier said than done. I know we got a journey, but I'm enjoying the process. This is part of what we're doing is for. Like this is all goes into one.
Right.
We love to have fun, but at the same time, we have to get down to business and we have to be honest with ourselves too. We can't keep blaming everybody else, even though we know
Right.
yeah, it's a system put against us. Let's not, mistake that or ignore that. It's a system built against us. But now
Exactly.
that we know this, we don't have no more excuses. The information is out here now. We no longer and we can it's no longer with the fact where we can't read a book or we'll get killed. The
Right.
information is out here. We have no more excuses. And like you said earlier, if right now is not the time, I can't stress that enough because now we have so many different tools. We have AI. And if you
Mhm.
have, man, ever since, even, I'm going to just speak for myself, ever since I've incorporated AI in our companies, it's just been a 3, 6, like,
Mhm.
it's just been an eye opener. Like, man, this is the best time to either start or grow or scale your business,
Right.
revamp whatever you need to do. This is the best time to, and everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. Everybody can't.
Right.
We also need employees, especially us as entrepreneurs. You have to be honest with yourself. Are you, do your research, like you said, do your research on what it really takes, and then make a decision. Do you really want to do this, or is you just trying to follow a trend?
That part. Yeah. Yeah. Because you think, I mean, not saying that some of us don't have different types of lifestyles,
Mhm.
but remember, some of us also have our company and don't get paid. So we relying on other monies called a paycheck from working for somebody else. So it depends on you. Everything depends on you. Like I can tell 50 people 50 different things to do or 50 ideas to start a business. But like you said, you got to invest in you. Now, I don't have a problem investing in people like you did with your cousin, and we all love him to death. Yes, we do. I won't see him at the family gatherings, but you will. But you can't also waste our time. You can't waste our time. And if I'm believing in you, it starts really with you believing in you. I can tell you a lot. The one thing that I don't stand on, I stand on business. I don't stand on fear. The only person I fear is God. I'm not fearful of man. Now, what this year has taught us, and even though we're not going to be political, but everything we went through this year is because of everything that started on January the 20th, right? So this year, that's why I said I'm woke. This year has taught us wait, you can't be relying on those people, don't have our best interests at heart. I learned that because I was a Fed at the beginning of the year. So the world saw what we had to go through. Doge and all that. It was real. It was real. It was real. So real that a lot of my colleagues committed suicide. How about that? Because it was so stressful. Imagine ending your night in tears, okay? No, God, you didn't have this for me. This is not for me. I got to do something else. I got to keep it moving. So while they focused on, and that's what I told people because they're like, "Oh, when did you start your business? You were showing up in the meetings and everything." See, while y'all was focused on Trump and Elon Musk, I was sitting over here on my other computer because we live in the 21st century. So it only took 3 seconds to register my business. So while I'm sitting in that meeting looking at, and I have multiple screens over there and over there, while y'all sitting there focused on, well, I can't believe he doing this. Neither can I. Y'all doubting office management. Yes, indeed. So while y'all focus on the wrong things. They're not here to save us. They're not going to save us. 2025 was the year of a different type of revelation. Stand on your business. Now, I haven't turned the news on, and I used to be a person that turned on the news first thing in the morning. I ain't watched the news in 3 months. I ain't got time for that. If I want to look at the news, I'll turn on YouTube or TikTok because they tell everything. So let me get focused on what I need to do because the news is stressful, it's depressing, all those great things. I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to build a brand. I need to be mentally here. I can't be crying about what happened around the corner and down the street or what happened in DC. I'm an hour away from DC. Ain't got nothing to do with Tracy. Ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm a focus. I got a team. I got this going on. I got to be here.
It's mindset is everything. It's super important. We speak about this all the time. And I even talk about meditation. I send out different mindset books. At the top of this year, I sent out probably 20 mindset audio books to our community, just to get people in that. Just to get one to bring confirmation to a lot of people that's already doing the things that they need to do. But it all revolves back to being happy. For real happy, not Instagram happy. Honestly happy with yourself, being able to look in the mirror. Because at the end of the day, your health is all you have. Your mind is all you have. Once you lose your mind, you have nothing else. So it's super important. And even with the entrepreneur, the entrepreneur economy, it's not about just making a lot of money. It's
Right.
about being really living in your passion and
Yes.
being happy. I think once we have more happy people out here, it'll kind of offset a lot of the evil stuff that's going on out here. But we have to start there first. We have to start within our communities. We have to start within, our local communities first, and then work our way up to, that 1%, because we the ones who's moving things. I'm really not into playing a lot of these different games like the red and blue games, but it's all about self at the end of the day,
Yes.
and knowing that this is a game. So you have to know the rules, and you have to figure out different strategies to play this
Mhm.
game that we're in. We can't just sit here and ignore it. It's super important. Let's speak on that real quick. I want to talk about some of the mistakes that you see other entrepreneurs make. What's some of the common mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make, and what's a better approach?
Some of the mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make: lack of planning. In order for something to happen, whether it's you purchasing your new home, you purchasing a car, you have to sit down. Now, see, these are my notes from talking to you. Yes, we have computers. Yes, we have smartphones. You have to sit down and write it out. In order for a plan to take effect, you have to sit down and write it out. What I do when I write it out, what I present it to my CEO. My CEO. I am my CEO. No, my CEO is God. I present it to him first. Any change, anything I do, let me write this out. Lord, I'm coming. Okay, wait a minute. Here you go. I need this for 2026 because I want to do that 2026 small business summit because I can do it better than them people that just charged for all that money. I'm going to need that. So here you go, Lord. Here you go. So entrepreneurs forget to plan. Wait, isn't there a saying when you plan to, something about plan to fail, something, whatever, whatever. You have to sit down. You have to focus. Write out your plan. Then if you feel like it's not good enough, oh wait, we have AI. Type it into AI. You talk to AI like that's your chief of staff, like that's your marketing, whatever. So we'll talk about AI later, but you take it to AI, let them develop that plan for you. You review it. AI is a computer. How do I know that? Well, because I also went to school for computer programming, so it's programmed to do what it was told to do. You sit and you read through it. You make the tweaks, the edits. You have to start with a plan, a realistic plan that incorporates. your goals, whether they're short term, let's say 3 months, long term, 3 years. Okay, you write it out. People forget that they have to plan and they just whoosh. And when you just go out the gate, and then what happens? What happens? You didn't have a plan, honey. So what did you expect? It crumbled. And now you don't know how to get out of that ditch. But if you would have took at least 1 hour to sit and write it out, and then wait, because we in the 21st century. I'm sorry, Chat GPT, Claude,
Gemini.
Gemini, what's the other thing in Microsoft? Copilot.
Yeah.
You tell them I need to develop a one-page plan to start this business in dog grooming. They gonna tell you everything you need. I'm sorry. So what's the problem? We are in the and I can't emphasize this enough. We are in the 21st century. The stuff that we have now, the tools and resources we didn't even have 10 years ago. We didn't have 5 years ago. And I told somebody the other day, do you want me to replace you with AI? Because I don't really need a whole big staff. So
Already getting replaced.
right. So the what they don't do is they don't plan. And the best thing you can do is plan. I don't care if it takes 1 month. Plan. You have to plan. Then you have checklists. I'm sorry, checklists to start your business. It tells you everything from registering with the state. You can create this. You can Google it. How about that? And you could tweak it to what you need it to be. There's now, let me tell you something about me and what you're going to learn about me throughout time. I don't make excuses because they build bridges to nowhere, and that's where you end up. I don't do that. There is way too much here. Even on your phone, you can walk the dog and say, "Chat GPT, create me a business plan because I want to groom dogs the rest of my life and be happy." Now, the other part about it is I might work 14 hours. I may not eat dinner to 1:30 a.m. I might go all day without eating, and but I have my coffee. I'm good, and I have my water. I don't have time to eat. Why? I'm busy. Because when you do what you love, it never feels like work. And I have 50 people telling me daily, "You got to slow down." Don't tell me that because you're still punching somebody's clock. So you have no clue what I need to do on this side. Because I'm doing what I love and I'm happy and I have my joy and I have peace. I can sit here all day. Because after I'm done with you, do you think I'm just going to go take a nap somewhere? No. I got meetings, I have calls, I have a business. So I have to work.
The marathon
It
continues.
does.
Sure.
So effective, it doesn't even have to be effective because you got AI to make it effective for you. AI can make mistakes. You just review it and then you find somebody at MOB. Can you take a peek at this? Because I'm trying to make this plan, but does it sound right to you? You can't give it to your cousin Mookie. Mookie don't know anything about business.
Nothing.
Look, it all looks good to Mookie. No, because then Mookie gonna ask you, well, why you want to start your own business?
You sure about this?
Right. You ain't got no money. You have to get there are connections. You have a connection. MOB. I went through your website. I saw everything.
We, we
You
we
they can
on.
reach out to you or they can reach out to people like me. Hey, I just need 10 minutes. Can you look at this? Can you go through this with me? Can you give me your honest opinion? I'm trying to create a plan. I want to start a business or I want to revamp or rescale or relaunch. I've even done a relaunch. Oh, this first couple of months didn't work out well. Let me just take it out again. And guess what? When I did my relaunch, because remember, my business is 10 months old. When I did my relaunch, everything changed. Everything changed. And I had a plan. I had a 200-page plan. I call it my operations plan. How about that? But sometimes when you see things, let me do it different. Let me change my target. Let me tweak my services. So we're always learning. And I'm glad you said that about learning, because I learn every day intentionally. Just because you're a business owner, you don't stop learning. So those are the two things I can emphasize on: plan and always learn. Even if you have a staff, you still have to learn, because times change very quickly, as we see, and so does the resources and the systems in place.
So real quick, I want to stick on that. I want to stick on that because this is actually one of the questions that I love to ask. This is actually touching on module three, which is business planning. I always ask this: how often should entrepreneurs revisit their business plan, and what's the biggest red flag that it's time to update?
I would say, to be honest, look at it every 3 months. Why? Because you can use your business plan. Everything in your business plan are pieces to the business, meaning, see, I can tell you because other people may not understand. You got this massive business plan, right? You can develop your marketing plan, because there should be a section in your business plan about marketing. You can do your strategic plan from your business plan, your communications plan. So you have to, that's a working document. That document, just because you created it, and there's different types of business plans: one that you create to take to your bank, one that you create to take to lenders, one that you just might take to cousin Mookie because he got a couple of dollars from a car accident, child, and but he ain't gonna understand, right? So your business plan is a working document, and it should never just sit idle. Everything you need from that business plan, you create sub plans. Everybody need a market. If you don't have a marketing plan and you got a business, and we talking about another problem. Everything that you had to develop in that one document, you pull the sub plans from it. Your financial forecast, you have to look at this stuff to see if you're advancing, or you just functioning at this point. So you have to, I would say 6 months. For people like me, I might look at it every 3 months, or I might look at it every month. It depends. Everything, your business plan is pretty much like the autobiography of the business. It changes in time. You might want to change your target market. If you change your target market, go back to your business plan, because you need that change too. It should always be updated, because there may be some person that's watching you on the sidelines and say to you, I want to invest in your business. Can you give me a copy of your business plan? And you're going to look like, huh? It should be readily available. And you should say, I'm going to email it to you when I get back to the office. The business plan is a working document, and it never dies, and it will always need your attention. You don't have to sit back and work. If you did your business plan right, everything's there: marketing, communications, staffing, finances. Because remember, we have to put where the money coming from when we start, and or where we expect to get it from. So leave that working document. I have a binder, and I go through it. Okay, wait, I got to change that. Things change, so I got to change that. So it should always be. And I'm being nice about it. I said 3 months, 6 months. To be honest, you want to, 3 months is good. I think that's good, because if you're just starting your business, you're focused on that tunnel vision. You're focused on other stuff, but you can't forget your business plan, because, or you can switch it to your operations plan. So you need to take a look at that, because time goes fast, right?
You don't think we scripted this? They going because when I say you sound just like me, to something I'm always talking about. I'm always telling our members, they don't think we scripted this. I love it, but I love it. It's confirmation, because sometimes, sometimes you have to hear it from different people.
Yes.
I know I'm the consultant, so most people is like, okay, you hearing it from me, but sometimes it's always good to hear that confirmation from somebody else that's in a whole nother realm.
Exactly.
And I learned that from my mother, because a lot of the stuff I tell her, and she got to hear it from somebody else to come
Right.
back. Like, oh, remember that thing? I'm like, Mom, I told you that. But I understand. I'm your son. I'm always be your baby. I
Hmm.
understand. Sometimes, hey, I'm your cousin. I'm your nephew. I'm your, whatever. So sometimes you might have to hear it from somebody else, that confirmation. Thank God for it. I don't want to keep you up too much longer. I got a couple more questions for you, just to drop a couple more jewels. But I really want to talk about funding and financial growth. This is something that's big. I call it the big three. This is one of the biggest solutions, or one of the biggest challenges I find most business owners have trouble with. What funding opportunities do small business owners often overlook, especially in underserved communities?
Grants. So for me, and I'm just, we family here, so I'm gonna be completely honest. I only use my own money in my business. And then I got a client in California, somewhere, and he wanted my business to research grants for him, which that's something we do. And once we research them, to apply for him because he wanted to start a new business. And I said, okay. I got a subscription to different grant things because that's the service that I also offer under my business. The grant writing process from A to Z, which most people don't know that that process can be 12 months, it can be 2 months, it could be one day. So the funding that's overlooked is grants. Now I'm gonna take it to a different level. Why you should try for grants? Because we black and banks don't want to give us no money. And people don't want to give us no money because they don't believe in us. So to alleviate the stress, there's a ton of grants, whether it's a state grant, a local grant, federal grant. More important, you got a ton of private companies. You make jewelry. Guess what? Cartier got a jewelry grant. There's different things, but people don't know why because they don't do their research and they definitely don't use AI. So the disadvantage on a financial spectrum for people that look like us, when we get our employee into identification number or our TIN, whatever you want to call it, we got clear credit, right? Because starting a business is like buying a home, because then you start getting all this stuff in the mail from different banks because you knew on the block. Now, those banks not going to give you anything. They're not going to give you anything. Most banks want you to be in business at least 2 years. Uh, Wait, okay. The SBA, Small Business Administration, under the new administration have changed. They changed. So you may not get it there either. So
They
then you
ain't
sitting
nothing.
back, they like, we not doing that no more.
Like we ain't even got it. They crying, bro.
The money gone because hey, it is what it is. So that's another part of the reality of 2025. Changes across the board, program slash cut ended. So now you sitting back, I want to start this business, I ain't got no money. The best thing you could do, depending on the type of business you have you ever thought about starting at your home? You get massive tax write-offs for that. If you have a room or a part to your house, designate that as your business office. When you got to meet with people and stuff, go to the local Panera Bread or Starbucks. Panera Bread is more quiet. So there's ways around it, because guess what? Remember, I said maybe 40 minutes ago, they want to continue to keep their knee on our neck and they want to try to hold us down. And I also said, Black wealth can't be suppressed. We rise from the ashes. Our ancestors did it and we're going to continue to do it. So you want to start a business, which you can do when you're doing your plan. When you're doing your plan, research grants, because there are private companies that will give grants specific to certain businesses, but there's other companies, they have micro grants. They have things like the Amber grant for women. That starts at $10,000. And when you apply for an Amber grant, it's 10,000. They go each month by the different category. Let's say the first month could be mental health in January. February, they might do a fashion designer. But at the end of the year, they give a massive grant. So you could have got 3 grants from that one company, depending on how you wrote out your plan. And they ask the most tedious questions. I think they asked 3 questions. Tell us about your business. So I'm just saying, there's opportunities here. Some banks don't want to give us money because no different than purchasing a car or a home. We don't have anything to show just yet. We're new business. Those are also the same banks that will knock down your door for you to be their client, but you take your business elsewhere because you didn't want to invest in me, because that's what we do with our time and with people. We invest in each other. So I would honestly say that grant I would, if you don't have your own money, and then there's that other thing, it's called angel funding. I think angel funding. I stayed away from that too because you got to read the fine print. Now, a lot of tech companies, if you can create the next best thing that's resemblant to Chat GPT, anything tech, you can get money for, most likely. I would say, let's say you want to start your own business, but you're not ready to leave your job. Just start putting some change to the side, money that you are not going to touch. Just put it to the side and then think of other options where you don't have to spend massive amount of money in the beginning. I'm sorry, wait, what was it? Amazon started in a garage to a rental property. Because remember, he didn't own that property. They got rid of everything and went to where they were and they rented it. Didn't Apple start in a garage too? So sometimes you have to follow your business model. We didn't even talk about that. So people don't know what a business model is. Totally separate than your business plan. You follow or you do research. Look at some successful people. Because if you Google what made them start their company, Google will tell you. People are pretty transparent with, because we all have a story. It's a journey. So you have to do research. If you feel comfortable enough to go to all your family members around the Christmas table, the table at Christmas, then God bless you. God bless you.
Right, for sure. I mean, if you blessed enough, hey, do it. Most definitely, I think it's super important, and it's something that you touched on too. You kept on touching on researching. That's something that we touched on earlier, and I think that's module 2, market research. And this is something I'm still big on myself. Like I said, I'm a big documentary person myself. I'm big on looking up these major corporations and looking into their journey.
Yes.
What, and YouTube is good for this. There's a lot of
Yes.
homemade documentaries on YouTube talking about these different companies, how they started. And one common denominator, and a few common denominators that I always see is most of these companies don't start off how we know them today,
Mm-mm.
right? Some of them start off with totally different products, and they had to adapt. Some of them, go bankrupt or whatever, wherever the case may be, and they go through this journey and come out, like what we know them today. And I think it's so important to know the journey, and do the research. It's super motivational, one, because all of them went through something. All
Yes,
of
they
them
did.
went through something traumatic stuff that I just
Yes.
like. You just never, like Rolex. I looked into his story, how his wife died, and how they didn't even think about death until his wife died, and he turned it into a trust. And now Rolex is a trust. They don't even know how much a Rolex costs to make because they don't have to tell the government how much. They don't have to tell them nothing because it's a private trust. And I
Yeah.
think these stories are super important. The Walmart story, how he got a loan from his father-in-law. These different things. I think it's so important to really research, history, and because history repeats itself, and it could repeat itself with you. You could be the next Walmart.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what they went through, then it's gonna make it a little harder. So it's super important for us to get out there. Real quick, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. If you have any advice for any upcoming business, what
I'm sorry you got cut off. I didn't hear the rest.
I'm sorry. If you have well, what advice would you give any upcoming or small business owner?
Stay grounded in your faith. Stay grounded in your faith because I don't have to tell people what our ancestors went through. What they never forgot was God. And when people ask me, how is it that you do all the stuff that you do? God. Hello. I'm not a robot. I'm one person. God. You have to stay grounded in your faith. And you did speak on something earlier, meditation. You have to have that self time. You can't always, because I always have people in my head like talking or always in my, I know how to unplug. Phones off, computers off. I hear, see nothing because whether I'm going to spend time with my family or my dog, I don't know. You have to, going into a business, there are challenges. There are. And I'm not going to lie. I mentioned earlier, there are those days where you will not be eating a T-bone, honey. You better make a pot of spaghetti because you know it's going to last throughout the week. Grab them noodles, honey. You can get them at Walmart for 40 something cents. More importantly, your circumstances are not your conclusion, but you're the one that have the power to change it. You have to keep people that don't understand anything about business out of your face, out of your head, because they will discourage you. Why? It's called crab in the barrel syndrome. They don't have anything and they don't want you to have it either. You may be the one person in your family that can do this because guess what? That idea for that business, God planted that seed. You didn't just develop it on your own because he sees something in you as well. Stand on your business, surround yourself with like-minded people. Uh, and at some point, well, later today or whatever, I'll share my information with you. So if you feel like you had to advertise it or whatever, you got people like us that even though we're busy, we can talk to you for 15 minutes. So make sure you have the right people and don't give up. One of the other things is when you're doing your research, don't ever lose sight of people like Madam CJ Walker. I'm sorry. Do y'all not? Self-made millionaire. Look when she started and what she did. And I'm gonna end with this. Again, I'm going to repeat this. I wrote it down the other day. Black excellence, Black achievement, Black wealth cannot be suppressed. We rise from the ashes. So we go through the hurdles in this journey. The best thing I could do is go above or around. Because I'm often saying, the devil's a liar. Not today. You're not going to get me. It's very easy to be discouraged. We don't always see, first of all, statistics show that a new small business will fail in 12 months or less. I'm not one for statistics, okay? Whatever. So we keep it moving. Don't give up. Even if you have to scale back, even if you have to get rid of your staff, even if it's just you keep going. Act like the little internet could. I think I can. I can. No, because you can. You can. And that's the importance of having the right support system because they're going to continue to uplift you. So make sure you're surrounded, make sure you plan. And if you're an existing business, revisit your plan. If things aren't working out the way you want, it's time to pull out that business plan. It's time to dust off that marketing plan and look at everything that you have because 9 times out of 10, the resources that you need to flourish they're right there at your fingertips. Only if you plan. And if you haven't done a business plan, I don't understand how you in business and how your business is functioning. You have to do plans. You got people like me. I'm not like those other organizations that's going to charge you $5,000 or more to write a business plan. I think that's completely crazy. You have to do your research. And you have to get with the right network, whether it's your community, because there are small business owners everywhere, or you go on LinkedIn, because that's a community of its own. Do they not know too that there's trainings on LinkedIn? There's trainings on LinkedIn. They have different networks, and a lot of these people have meetings on virtual Zoom meetings. And then you check Eventbrite for your area because a lot of small business people get together. And another thing that I'm excited about, which I can share with you, is that I'm going to start a small business support group, kind of, sort of like a mentorship thing where we can bounce ideas, or the people can ask questions for free because some people want to charge for everything. But I think that's important to have this network of people. We don't have enough networks. Um, and we need to do this because we can. We have a lot of bright people that look like us and they want to give back because why? We all have to give back. This is our give back. Take it while you can. So, but that's what I would say. Yeah, you have to just and don't give up. Please don't give up. Because
Yes.
the moment that you give up, you don't realize that you are on the verge of your breakthrough.
Every time. Every time. I love it. I love it. Tracy, I just adore you so much. I appreciate you so much. Let the people know where they can reach you and give us a quick shout out real quick. Shout the mob out real quick.
So I can be reached. My email address is kind of long. Should I put it in the chat?
You can say it and then I'm also take it as well and send it out.
Okay. My email address is tdowtin at Dowtin Office mgmt.org. And my website is www.dowtinofficemgmt.org. And I'll also email you that too. And I'll send you some other information about the stand store. And I'll have to reach out to you because I'm about to publish a book that goes hand in hand with my business. And I have a couple of ebooks. One, of course, is about business plans. How about that? One is about the savvy entrepreneur because I got this whole savvy series: the savvy CEO, the savvy admin professional, the savvy entrepreneur. So I will make sure I share those things as they happen with you. And you also let me know. I did write a lot of notes. You let me know where you need me, when you need me to be in a room, and I'll do all I can to accommodate you because I definitely support Mob. And I love the name Mastering on Business. I love it.
I love it.
So,
I love it. I love it. We definitely, hey, you fam now, so definitely gonna stay connected. Um, man, this session was just immaculate. You just don't know how. I mean, you probably already know. I'm pretty sure you get all the praises, but you are definitely something and somebody that we need in our community. And man, I wish more people had your mindset. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna spread the knowledge. We're gonna spread the word. We're gonna spread the energy. And I really appreciate you for hopping on. Real quick, can you give us one more shout out so I can clip it real quick?
well, first of all, let me reiterate what I said earlier. I salute you. I thank you. I appreciate you for having me here. Shout out to my new family, MOB Mastering on Business. You can follow them on all social media platforms, and they are a great company and they're here to help. So reach out.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And if you're
So,
still watching this live, I appreciate you guys so much. Definitely, if you have any questions for Tracy, definitely hit us up. You know, after this, if you have any questions after this, hit us up in our DM or contact her directly. We'll definitely make sure you guys connect. That's what it's all about, man.
yeah.
We want to make sure that our community connect with each other. Hey, until next time, my family. I'll talk to you guys shortly. Continue on, being great and have a great holiday, a great safe holiday as well. I'll see you guys in a minute.